Entry 45677, having problems with my computer, and reporting in tune with the truth of reality. There is something known as seeking, and thus, upon doing so, I remembered stand the stress, the tensions, while being in space, floating around. I thought to myself, which place to next? It appeared, or maybe not so much as wanting to know why the reason, thus it inputted itself into the mainframe computer as my sound dialogue, thus being beyond refrain from my opportunist ideals. I found time enough to relax in the reason of being as such able to gauge myself, and thus from any other point of view nothing else would seem to be similar to it. And so when I pondered or asked the questions in reference to my own response to myself, it did seem totally okay to forget some other stuff, but while I was making up my mind, it occurred to me that for some reason or other, it seemed that I was going somewhere to which such a place to go to would be known as the go place. Nevertheless, I made my adjunctions so that I know I will. Nevertheless, I am making some precautionary measures while I boost into hyperspace in relation to why my mind speak would not want anything other than derivations from me being happy on that new planet that I would find myself on, thus reaching so far away. I gave some monumentous implications to my own basic need by stating it that should I find a woman on that planet, it would not be difficult to boost on. Thus, having surmounted my total refrain from making such stupendous claims upon myself with my body inside it, that it would seem that I was perhaps spending more electromagnetic time figuring out what to do when I reached the other star. Thus, from my point of view, anyway, it would always seem that no matter where I went or what I did, I would always be making mistakes. So, for those who do not yet know, the mistaken one is, of course, the person you do not know. So, I would spend most of my time on the spaceship trying to figure out why something would make me want to, well, explore into the next star system, because that's what I was thinking. I would buy some apples there, and then upon my way, perhaps there was no economy, but in any case, I was gonna go down on the planet and just see what there was to eat. And of course, the usual warnings are, do not eat what you do not know is poisonous on another planet. So, being thus the ability to sense it is also of vital importance to use one's psychic ability when doing this, for should it be known that a representative of Earth had been tricked by psychic emanating plants that someone thought were edible. Nevertheless, as I changed my point of view into what I would make of it as I traveled on, while being quite content to know that my body was responding well, and that while doing so, I would note that these various apples, I would name them, from planet 457, were so tasty that I started to wonder, had there been some other ones which could make me feel better, or slightly worse? So, as I traveled on, I knew by some measure of making stops here and there that I could not find a pattern in it, and damned I'd be had I not been able to foresee my own reason for existing, for having this energy inside my body. And thus, I decided quite grandly that I would try not to overanalyze the situation, because had I started analyzing all my eatings on a microscope with its computerized tracer, of course, there wouldn't be any problem trying to figure out why I would leave such a planet. I might become dependent, you see. I might become overweight. Or I might develop other forms of cholesterol overdoses or abuses to my system. So knowing this, I did not want to become too sluggish when moving on to star system 7745. And thus, I did not care. And so, what do you think that would mean? Not caring. Thus concludes my thesis while on my spaceship.